Hello everybody, welcome to my channel. It's Belinda here from Visualized NZ. I am super thrilled to be part of the Be Summer Inspired collaboration. This has been hosted by RachandBella Crafts, so if you haven't caught any of the videos, head along to RachandBella Crafts on YouTube, and there is a playlist in her YouTube with all the videos for this collaboration. I'm one of many people doing videos for this, and it's so exciting. There's some absolutely amazing projects coming out, so I do encourage you to hop along and support all of these channels, even if you just watch the video that they've put up for this collab. Amazing, so inspiring, and I've picked up so many new ideas. So this is the list of people. So every Sunday in UK time, Rachel does a video with freebies, and if you watch the first one from the 14th of August, there's instructions on there how to enter the giveaway that's part of this collaboration. I am giving away one of my kits as a prize in this collab. Follow the hashtag BeSummerInspired. You can follow that on Instagram, on YouTube, Facebook, etc. if you want to catch all the details. Yeah, just awesome to be part of this. Now, all of us were assigned a letter to use for this collaboration. Mine is the letter P. Okay, and Rachel also provided a list of prompts to use for inspiration. Now, we don't need to use this, but it is helpful. So A to Z, I'm letter P, so the prompts on my list are palm trees, picnic, pool, postcards, pockets, playful, paper scraps, photos, and paper bag. So I've picked out just 2 of those, and I've got an extra one to add to that. So it's very summer inspired. The prompts are a mix of summer and journaling. So there's some like pockets or a journaling thing, palm trees is a summer thing. So we got to choose, and we didn't have to use these, but I'm going with 2 of those, as I said. Now my additional letter, I just want to go over first before I get into my project. Rachel does these beautiful cover sheets for her kit, sorry. I'll just grab out another one. I forgot to grab out, oh, you know, trying to open a container upside down doesn't work so well. Yeah, go figure. While I'm grabbing this out, I want to give a very warm welcome to all my subscribers returning back to watch. And I also want to give a huge shout out to any new people who are joining, led here by the collaboration, my fellow collaborators who are coming here to support me in watching the video. And please, I'd love it if you would subscribe, and if you do subscribe, if you stick around for a while and enjoy, hopefully you'll enjoy this. So Rachel does these beautiful title pages for her kits. This is my design team kit that I used for last month. And you can use this for collage and various bits and pieces, but I was sitting cutting out the pieces I needed for my project for this collaboration, and we were given 3 kits to work with. So Sounds of Summer, which is the beautiful kit, which is the one I'm using today. There was also Truly Blue and Nana's Roses. So I was busy fussy cutting out, and I've got one container that holds my design team bits and pieces, and I realized that I'm going to mix them up. I'm going to mix the Nana's Roses with the Truly Blue. How am I keeping them separate? So I came up with the idea of turning this beautiful title page into a little envelope. So I just cut off the white, made it into an envelope, and now it houses all the bits and pieces from the Sounds of Summer kit, because that's this title page. Once I've used everything and I no longer need to keep it separate, then it can be filed with all my other bits and pieces, and then this can be used in a journal. Pop a trim or another bit of paper or something over top of the name of the kit, and you've got a beautiful envelope to use. to include in a journal. So I thought, there's my extra P. It's practical. It's a practical solution to an issue I was having, and making sure I kept everything separate. Now I just realized I didn't grab out these words, and I do need the words out, so let's grab those. Don't think I'll need the quotes, but I'll grab them just in case. There's some more. There's a lot of words in this kit, so I might as well grab them all out. So I have lots of choice. Oh, some more hiding in here. There, that's probably enough, even if I haven't got them all. Okay, so in this Sounds of Summer kit, this is the ephemera kit. This title page is from the journal kit, which has the pages, the background pages. There is tags, beautiful tags. There's journal cards. There's little fussy cuts. These ones are printed at 1/4 of the normal size, so I've got little cute miniatures. All sorts of fun stuff, little bits and pieces to decorate with. So that is the Sounds of Summer ephemera, all tucked away in this cute envelope that can go on and get used for other things. So these will sit in my case of RachandBella Crafts Design Team folio, which is this big plastic bin here, and I can keep them all separate until I don't need to keep them separate, or they can be there forever and a day, and I can keep them separate if I want. But for you who might not be on a design team, it's still a way that you can organize your bits and pieces that you're using for a journal, and then once you've refiled everything you didn't use, you can still have an envelope to use somewhere else. So I thought that was helpful and very practical. So that's just an extra little tidbit. Let's get into my project. So I'll pop that aside now. Upside down, that's always a good start. This is one of the pages of the Sounds of Summer. It's just beautiful, and it's the one I've chosen to use for this project today. I've also got another page that misprinted. It fed through my printer. I don't know if you can see that, sideways, so it's got white, uneven white stripes. So it's printed wrong. I'm going to be using that as a backing page for part of the project. And then I've got some of the elements here. This is the 1/4 size ephemera printed off. I've already cut out half of this, so I don't think I need this, but I'll keep it handy. This is printed at half size, and I might need something off that, I'm not sure. And then I've created a freebie for you guys to use. This is on my Buy Me a Coffee page. I will be using this as in my project, and I would love if you head along, download it entirely free, and use it in your own projects, whether it's this one or something else. Feel free. So we've got watercolor palm trees and facing 2 different directions. So this one, and then flipped, and then the same in a smaller size. And then we have this watercolor rope. Now I did have, where did I put it? My originals that I watercolored. So these are my pieces that I watercolored onto watercolor paper and cut out, and then I scanned them and reproduced them in different sizes and different directions for you, because I thought, you know, often you have something tied around a tree at the beach or somewhere, you know, whether it's a washing line for hanging your swimming towel on, something like that. So I wanted some rope to use, and it's actually come in very handy for this project. So let's start off with our page. I'm just doing a journal page, so I'm going to fold it in half. I haven't backed this. I wasn't as prepared as that, and that's okay. I can stencil or put a full page pocket or something on the white side. So if you would like yours backed, then make sure you back it before you print it out, before you cut it up. Right, so I want to choose a side to work on, and I'm thinking I will work on this side. Doesn't matter, either way is fine. Now I have prepared my pieces because there's a little bit of fussy cutting to do. So the palm trees, I've cut out one of the small ones and I've cut out one of the larger ones, but before I cut it out I backed it with scrap paper just to make it a little thicker. You could print it out on cardstock instead, so either way, either cardstock or back it with paper before you cut it out just to make it a bit sturdier, and there's a reason for that. I've got a little bit of the rope trim left over from my prototype project, which I'll show you later on, so I'll probably be using that. And then I've cut out a lot of these little shells and seagull and things that are printed at quarter the size. And then I've got one of the tags of the kit that happens to be on the same background as this page, and I thought that would coordinate really nicely. I just noticed I haven't trimmed it out quite properly, but that's okay. We're going to back this. So what I might do is I'm going to start just by backing this, and that'll give the glue time to dry. I'm going to trim off this white just so I don't end up with white on the back of my tag. Go to the trouble of covering it. I don't want to add a weird white strip down the side. So I'm just going to glue this down with my glue stick, and that can be drying while we move on with the rest of the project. So I'm doing pockets and palm trees for my pea. I wanted to do playful as well, but it kind of didn't end up going that way. But I think any time you're crafting is playtime. So that kind of covers playful. But if you did like some little faux washing to hang on the rope, that could be playful. It could definitely be classed as fun. Now which way's up? Don't think it really matters, but that way's up. So choose out whichever tag. There's beautiful tags to choose from, and I just liked this one and how it worked with this particular project. I've used a different one in my prototype. Right, I'm just going to set that aside, let it dry, and then I'll cut it out in a bit. Okay, so back to our page here. So we have our palm trees prepared. We have our seashells and bits and pieces prepared. We also need plastic. Now this is a rather beat up piece of plastic. It is a sleeve from scrapbook paper. You know, the 12 by 12 sleeves that go in your scrapbook. This is a used one that came from my mother, I believe. So it actually comes with free glitter. It's getting everywhere. So I want a piece of that is the width of my page, and I'm going to make it slightly wider. You can use whatever plastic you've got, acetate, you could even use tracing paper or vellum. I do like the completely clear for this though. But in saying that, I haven't tried like the tracing paper or vellum. I know it would work, but it will just give you a slightly different look. Okay, now I want to trim it to a height, just making sure I line it up there, a height that comes in about where the leaves meet at the top of the tree. That's about the height of my pocket that I'm looking for, or slightly below that, so the top of the trunk. So I'm just going to line up on my grid for the height that I want. There. Grab my ruler, and you probably can't see this because it is clear. And I'm going to trim it off at the top there. And that's probably a good size actually for another one. Yeah, it is. So that's good. Right. Now this is going to be our pocket. It's going to be a transparent pocket. So we're going to see our journal card, which I haven't cut out yet, in behind. But I want to strengthen the top of this pocket so that when you're putting things in and out. One, that you can see where the pocket is, because at the moment it's very hard to tell. And two, is going to add interest. And this is where our rope comes in. So I'm going to grab out my page here of the rope and the palm trees. Move that aside for a moment. And I want to cut one of these strips of rope out. And I want to take a bit above it. Now, it doesn't matter which side you take. Actually, I don't want... I'm trying to think how I did it, and I'm looking at my prototype. Okay, I'm just going to roughly cut along here. Detach it from the sheet. Now, this bit above the rope, I want to leave intact for the moment. I'm going to trim off these white edges to the end of the rope. And I'm going to, not that side, cut out this white edge along the bottom of the rope. So there is no direction, so whichever way you choose is the top and bottom. The top you want white and the bottom you want to be fussy cut. Don't be too precious about getting it perfectly cut out, because ink really tones in beautifully with this. Vintage Photo works really well, or whichever brown ink you like, just give it a touch up with that and it's going to take care of any of that white that's showing. So as you can see, I'm going fairly quickly. I'm not worrying about getting every single little curve or anything. So it doesn't take too long. Here we are. Fussy cutting. Here we go. Quick, easy. The palm trees, I do admit, are a little more tricky to cut out. But again, don't be too worried about the white, because if you have it, Shabby Shutters Distress Ink works beautifully with the colours. It really does. So I'm going to grab out my book here. And I'm going to ink around these because I haven't done this yet. And that's just going to catch any white bits that I missed when I was cutting it out. And it just is really quite seamless. But you could use whatever green ink you like for this as well. Or you could even use Vintage Photo. It'll just give you a different look. But yes, I was very pleasantly surprised when I used the Shabby Shutters to find how beautifully it matches. And we'll do the wee one as well. So I'm not being precious about this, just giving it a little run round. Whoops, I've got stuff rattling on my desk. That's very distracting. Hope it's not distracting for you. So that's it. That's as quick as that is. Now I'm going to grab out the Vintage Photo. And I'm going to go around the trunks again, just to take away any white, because I can see some white. Let's give it a run round there. And the big one. And on our rope, so along that edge that we just cut, just going to make any white bits I left behind just vanish. And that was a really weird way to say vanish. I think I was going to say vamoose, and it came out vanish. Right, there we go. So we're all inked up. Ready. Yes. Now, I like to use a scoreboard for this next part. It's absolutely not essential, but I do have problems folding narrow pieces of paper straight. So I'm going to, how wide is this? This is 3/4 of an inch. So I'm going to, Last one I made was 1 inch, so that was really easy to go halfway. I think I'm going to go the 5/8. What do I want to do? The half mark. I'm going to go half. And this is just going to help me fold it straight. Oops, if I can hold the paper straight. So if you don't have a scoreboard, don't worry. And then I moved it and ended up with 2 score lines. So that's not particularly helpful, is it? But never mind. I'm just trying to follow the same line. Like so. So you should end up with our cut edge just with a little bit of white at the top, and then our back edge with white, and then I go ahead and trim that down a bit more so it's not too far past the rope. And I'm not worrying about whether it's straight. It's going to be on the inside of the pocket. You will see it slightly, but not by much. Just by a little bit. Okay, so now take my bit of plastic. I'm using tacky glue for this, and I'm going to pop glue on the inside, on one side. Work out where I need to go to. That there looks good. Lay my plastic in up to that crease. And then glue the other side and glue that down. And we've just created a lovely little strong edge for the top of our pocket. That makes it visible, strengthens it, and adds a little bit of fun detail with the rope. I can just snip that off. And then keep this bit because we can use that somewhere else if you so desire. Okay, so this needs trimming down. It is wider than my page, but I'm going to do that after I've glued it on. So I'm just going to start along the bottom, and I'm just using my tacky glue. It works really well for this. You will see it a little bit. It dries clear. It just kind of leaves a little shiny patch along the bottom, and I like to just smooth it out. Make sure you don't glue your page together, glue it shut. So just maybe open it out while you do this. And I'm going to do up the side. Sorry if my arm's in the way. Hope it's not. And up this side. I love the way this looks. I think it looks really cool, really interesting, and it doesn't cover over the beautiful design on the paper, which is a big plus in my books because it's so pretty. It really is gorgeous and very appropriate for me here in New Zealand as we are just hitting spring. We've just come into spring today, first day of spring. Woohoo! So we'll be in summer before we know it. Okay, I'm just going to trim off that excess. I could wait till the glue dries, but hey, you know, living dangerously here. Hoping it doesn't move on me. Careful I don't trim that spine of that page. Here we go, and we've got a transparent pocket, which is super fun. So you can see the white at the top, but it's not a big deal. And in my view, if it bothers you, then you might want to leave it even narrower. Now it's time to play with our trees. Were you waiting to see where they came in? So I'm going to do them slightly different on this pocket to what I did on my prototype. So you'll see a couple of different ways to use them. Now I want to arrange them, and I've already thought about how I want to arrange them on this one. So the smaller one I'm going to pop in the back, and I've got the trees facing different ways. So this one I'm going to, I do this in stages so I don't end up with glue where I don't need it. So I'm going to do on the trunk first, because I know the whole trunk is on the pocket, like that. And then I'm going to come in and glue down the leaves that are on the pocket as well. I'm not going to put glue where they go off the pocket because they'll be trimmed off. So I just work in stages. So I've done those two. Now I'm going to come in here and just do this edge, and I'll end up with a little bit of overhang. So I probably will get glue on my scissors. There we go. Just going to grab a tissue and get that excess glue off. Trim that. So we've got our first palm tree. Then we place our second one. Now the second one's going to stick up above the pocket, and this is why you need to back it and make sure it's sturdy, or put it on cardstock, because it's not going to be glued down. We'll glue down the outer tips, but not these ones in here. So I'm going to grab it about where I need the glue. So all the trunk. And then this frond. All the links will be down in the description box too, of where you can find this free printable for all the collaborators in the design team. So you can head into the description box and find all that cool info, and go ahead and support everybody. Right, and this one I'm going to glue down, just maybe not all the way, just towards the edge of the paper. And this one on the outer tips. Right. Please excuse me for a moment, my nose keeps running. Seems to be doing this all winter. Every time I start talking on camera, my nose starts dripping. It's very annoying. Okay, so here's my tag. It is now dry. I'm going to quickly cut this out. We haven't finished with the pocket yet, but I just want to give you a little demo of how we're getting on. All nice and curly with that glue stick, isn't it? Right, we can straighten that out. And I have printed on 100 GSM presentation paper, is what I'm using here. Okay, let's give it a wee straighten out just on our edge of my desk. Yeah, that's good enough for now. And then that's going to slide in behind the palm tree. Oops, have I glued? No, it's okay. And that's going to sit in our pocket like so. But we're going to decorate this up a bit more as well. So back to this. This is where the seashells come in. I like to pop a few bits and pieces around the base of the trees. And if you put these a bit higher, you know, angle them so they stick up, you can hide that with the seashells, which I think is a really cute idea. So I'm just going to have a little play and see how I might like to arrange them. Maybe one over this. Oh, that's quite fun. That tree's not completely glued down on the side, so I could put one caught between. Do we want to use a different one? This wee shell's actually got a butterfly on top of it, which is cute. I'm missing some shells. Why have I not got the pink ones? Oh well. There's some pink ones. Maybe I used them all in my prototype. And then I like to pop something over here as well. You could actually put that in the background. On that, maybe on the horizon line would be quite cute. Let's put that there. I like that there, so I'm just going to put it there. Glue stick out. I didn't think I would use this wee lighthouse, but there you go, I'm proving myself wrong. So it's just going to sit slightly under the pocket. Isn't that adorable? So again, that's printed at quarter the size, so it's off in the distance. And what I did want to use was the seagull. Up there somewhere. Now, I did actually mean to use tacky glue. I'm not sure how the glue stick does on the plastic, but we'll give it a go. I'm going to pop it there on a cool stack of stones. So there's another a pile. It's a pile of stones. Okay, let's use tacky glue for our seashells. I think I will go with the one with the butterfly caught between the palm trees. Make sure I put the butterfly up the right way. I want that one over there now that I've glued it up. No. Just make whatever composition is pleasing to you. Little starfish. Fiddling around, taking my time. Little sand dollar. Maybe the sand dollar should be out in the sand. I've got a spare one there, so I'm just going to try something. I've just trimmed it off so it looks like the waves over top of it. So it's half in the water. I thought if I didn't get the curve right, then I'd just go with the normal one. one, but it actually works quite well. There we go, the waves washing over top of a sand dollar. So that's cute. And that's the pocket done. That's all I'm going to do to the pocket itself. Now we're going to move on to the tag. Still a little curly. And I've got this bit of rope trim that I had left over from doing my prototype, and I've trimmed it down to both sides, top and bottom. I am going to ink it to get rid of that white, and this is going to tie it in with our pocket detail. What I'm going to do now, I'm going to put a strip across the top, so about there. I hope you're enjoying the collaboration. There's a lot going on, so I completely understand if you are watching this, end up watching this late, or you know, you've still got catch up to do, because I've still got catch up to do. There's just so many wonderful creators doing awesome things. It's definitely quite a challenge to keep up with everything. Only so many hours in a day, isn't there? Right, trim off that excess. Now, I am normally an inker. I haven't been taking the time during this video, but I would ink around this. Right, so we've got that. Now our words. Oops, sorry, just knocked the camera a little bit. What word would we like to go with this? Relaxed, splashing waves. Seagull. We've got a seagull there. Sunset. Whimsical, vibrant. Great words. These are fantastic words. Happy. I like happy. This is making me happy. This project is making me happy. So let's go with happy. Move all those which are unhelpfully upside down to the side. Now I'm going to trim this down a little bit. I'm going to take some off the edges. Just eyeballing about even. And a little bit off the top, I think. And I can see I haven't trimmed it out actually very well, so a little bit off the bottom as well. Now this I am going to ink round, just with Vintage Photo. Give it a little frame out. And I'm going to make it like a hanging sign down from our rope. So I'm going to hopefully get it centered. Wish me luck. It's harder to see once you've got glue on it, because you're holding it differently. Yeah, it looks not too bad. There we go. And now we need to draw like the little chains, I guess, that it's hanging from. So grab a pen, and where's my pen gone? Okay, I've just got a black fountain pen here, that will do. And I'm just going to do straight lines. And about there. And a little kind of hook into the top. And there we have a little hanging sign. Super cute. Love how that looks. We could add some shells at the bottom. and I've got some, so I'm thinking, why not? Let's just use them up. I had thought about putting a palm tree on the tag as well, but they're so pretty. Like I just couldn't do it. But you could try that. Try adding a palm tree onto the tag itself as well. And our starfish. Oh, don't drop it. Here's our starfish. So pretty. And what I've done to this tag is very, very simple. I haven't done a lot to it. I've just added some elements to it. And I think it looks cool. And so, so pretty, if I didn't say that already, which I'm sure I did. So here we go with the ink, just to give that some definition. And on the back, so you've got a beautiful writing space on the back that's all beautifully decorative as well, with the matching background paper. Get rid of the sponge crumbs, and now it's all ready to pop into our pocket, our transparent pocket. And so now we have layers of shells. We have our tree coming across our window here. Oops, more sponge crumbs on the back there. We have a hidden lighthouse that gets revealed when we take this out of the pocket. Super cute. Really happy with how that turned out. Fun. Just fun. So now I'll show you my prototype. This is my prototype that I did ahead of time just to make sure that everything worked and I knew what I was doing. So this is a different page I used for this one. Again, the beautiful ocean background with some rocks and sand and bits and pieces. So on this one I added the seagull on the posts, added the shells down at the bottom of the tree. That's something I didn't do on this one. I will do that. I put one of the smaller trees coming in from the side. And then on the tag, I ran a bit of the rope down the side and then cut one of the words, so like it was a flag attached to the rope. And then I cut some slots in her hair and inserted some of the shells into her hair with the flowers. So the flowers were already there. I just added in the seashells and then backed it with, this is a paper from the Truly Blue kit. It's in the background papers from Truly Blue. And I just love the interaction here with her looking towards the seagull. I think that's really cute. So that's, you can play with the arrangement of your trees and looks really cool. But one thing I did forget to do, and I've still got this wee scrap of the rope here, is put a little piece around the trunk. You know, because when you see a piece of rope attached to a tree, it loops around the tree, doesn't it, to hold. So I just grabbed this and line it up where I would like it, and I don't mind putting it over the frond because I think it would be quite likely to go over top of a frond. You want it sticking out slightly over the trunk because realistically it is over the trunk. You don't want to line it up with the trunk completely because that's not realistic. So just lining it up and trimming it off. On a slight angle so that the bottom of that piece lines up with the bottom of the rope, like it's just seamlessly come and wrapped around. I hope that makes sense. This is already inked, so I don't need to worry about that. It's just a subtle little detail. So, you know, if you don't want to do this bit, then by all means, it's not essential, but I just like that it kind of completes the story of that rope being wrapped around the trunk. So it comes around, loops around, and then follows back. So there we have it. There is my project for the Be Summer Inspired collaboration. Oops, and I do need to just trim off those overhangs there. I hope you enjoyed this project. I hope you found it inspiring. I feel like there's a lot to live up to with the rest of the collaborators because they are so talented. Wonderful, wonderful works, wonderful kits that we're using. Just so beautiful, Rachel. You've done a fabulous job with them and they've been such fun to play with. So don't forget to head along, go down to the description box. You'll find all the links you'll need, including to the freebie, which is on my Buy Me a Coffee page. You don't need to buy me a coffee. This is completely free, so you can just go ahead, download, no problem at all. The link will be below, as I said. So thanks so much for joining me. I really hope you stick with me, subscribe, give me a like, give me a comment, and I'll say hi back. It's really good to get to know you. Thanks for joining me. Take care, everybody. Bye.